Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. Ooh, my hoodie's all kinds of weird this morning. How is everybody? Did y'all have a good week? Awesome, that's good to hear. I hope daylight savings time didn't mess anybody up too badly. Lord knows that's not the easiest thing for us to go through. Alright, so we've got some Q&A. We've got one tiny little bit of haul, and then we've got our usual. I did go through today and make sure that none of them are held for review this time, so there won't hopefully be any awkwardness like there was last week. And again, I do really apologize for that. I love it when YouTube suddenly decides to do something and not tell us. But it is what it is. Okay. Alright, so diving on in, the first question comes from One Flossy Ninja. And they ask, what is the homework everyone is always talking about? Where does it come from? Homework is what we refer to in Magical Stitches for our challenges. So we have weekly assignments because it's School of Magical Stitches and Literature. So in school you get homework. So that's what it comes from. They're the challenge tasks in Magical Stitches. There's weekly, and then there's the extra credit homework that runs all month long. So that's what we're referring to. The Colorful Colorist said that her two favorite fandoms are Firefly and Labyrinth. I would recommend Clouds Factory. I'm fairly certain they've got designs. I think I've seen more Labyrinth designs out there than I have anything else. But I would check Etsy for sure. That's probably going to be your best bet for finding for finding things in those fandoms. Since neither of them are mine, I don't pay that much attention, but I feel like I've seen more Labyrinth than I have Firefly. Bumblesbee, thank you for the suggestion of mynotions.com. I have not checked it yet. I'm not to the kitting up phase yet. So when I am, I will definitely hit them up for the order. Sheila Zahn asks, where did I get the Disney park pattern? I got it on Etsy. I don't remember who it's by, though. But there's definitely two of them. There's a couple of them out there. Rosie Holman asks a good question. When you're counting stitches and then you have to frog a large area, how do you handle your counting? In Magical Stitches, what we're allowed to do, we have to take a picture before we frog, a picture after we frog, and then a picture after we've restitched. We can count those stitches over again. So if I have to frog, at least if it's a big area. So if I have to frog, like, say, 45 stitches, and I've already stitched, let's try to make this math easy. So I've stitched 200, realize that the last 45 have to be frogged. I would stop and take a picture and state 200. I would frog, take a new starting picture, and then those 45 would be counted again. So that's how you handle it. I hope that helps. Hilma at S asks, who is the designer of Summer Patchwork? It's Susan Bates. She has it in her Etsy shop, but it's under a different name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. She calls it something different than the magazine called it, which I think is really a little strange. But hey, she's the designer. She can do what she wants. It's loading. It's loading. Loading. It's just called Summer Sampler, and it's $8.14 US. Karen Gonzalez asked, does the map of Disneyland not count towards the letter M for Magic Kingdom? The answer is no. It's got to be the name of the actual chart, and the chart's name is Disneyland Map, and it's got to be the first letter. So in this case, D would have been what I would have had to have used. So I did have to penalty stitch, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing the penalty stitches. Jinmal, will Katie be going, is asking, will Katie be going to Stitching Texas? No, she will not. Let's see. Okay, that bees all the Q&A for the week. So cheers. All right. So some of my home, I'll show you the haul. There will be more haul next week. And in case you aren't aware, Nashville Needlework Market was this weekend. So next weekend is Market Day at Stitch Niche. So I also get paid on Friday. My bank account may not be happy either way, but all right. So my one little bit of haul, I ordered the Frosted Pumpkins new Chinese Zodiac Sal starts next month, and the pre-orders went out this week. So I did not order the kit. They use Picture This Plus Ada, and the Picture This Plus Ada that I've used a couple of times in the past, I find too soft. That's why I quit using Ada. And I didn't want to pay the cost of the linen. So I'm going to stitch largely from stash. But I did go ahead and order because I knew I didn't have the treasure braid. So I ordered the treasure braid, and I ordered the super adorable needle minder. Look, isn't that sweet? Little rat with a Chinese lantern. So good. So, and I know I'm not supposed to be doing new starts, but I will most likely be starting that on the day it drops because I have the attention span and tenacity and self-control of a drunk 3-year-old on speed. So, I'm okay with this. Yeah, so much for my 3 finishes thing. But I'm still trying to really stick to that as best I can. Ish. Don't judge me. I don't know what that meant. Okay. Alright, so moving right along. Apparently I'm in one of those moods today. Okay, so homework time. Alright, so last Sunday, what did I work on last Sunday? Oh, last Sunday was the pop-up event. So I worked on with the needle. And I got the trees done. Look at those trees. And I also got a little bit of the border on this panel done. So I've got buildings and the sun and some clouds left to go. And then this panel will be finished. So my goal on this one is still to finish the block for the month. Alright, then we came to our homework. So the first thing was to stitch on an object shaped like a balloon. So I worked on Lizzie Borden because there's a pear in the pattern, and pears are balloon shaped. I did not end up working on the balloon itself, or on the pear itself, I just worked on words. So I got another verse done. So when she saw, so what she had done, she gave. So I've got one more verse and then her name. So I'm getting close on the words. Ta-da! So, and I'm using so far the called for colors. And this is on Ship's Manor, January 2020, Fabric of the Month. And I'm referring to it as Dried Blood. So I worked on that. Then stitch on a project with more than 3 parts. I worked on Fairy Tale Favorites, and I did the Frog Princess. So here she is. Zoom in on her some. I did tweak the, I used confetti gold for her puffy sleeves. That was my little sparkly addition for her. I love the little frog. He's super cute. So here we are on the fairy tales. So this one is done for the month. If I find myself with some extra time or kind of spinning my wheels or not sure what to work on, there are mini motifs I can do, and I can also work a little bit more on border stuff. So... Alright, so then the next prompt was stitch on a project related to one of the jobs at Magic Kingdom. So I worked on my Beauty and the Beast as Animal Wrangler because of the Beast. I also used this for the 300 bonus stitches for stitching on something dapper because he wears dapper clothing. And here we go. I got the Beast largely done. I've got his claw and part of his sleeve left to go. So he should be done. So this was 2 of my 3 assignments, so the 3rd time I work on him should finish out what had kind of been my goal for the month on him. I wanted to get the Beast done. So this is on a fabric from Fortnite Fabrics that does not have a name. And this is the one that I'm stitching along with Zav and Park Hopper Bart. And we use the hashtag BAMF BATB for bad a mother effing Beauty and the Beast. Because it's Banff. Alright. Then I did my penalty stitches, which was actually fairy tales, so that I could finish that out. And then the next was to stitch on a project that is something you would hear in a parade. So I worked on Strawberry Fields because there's birds, and you can hear birds when you're outside and there's parades. So I got the leaf and almost all of the windows done. This is on Winterbrook from Under the Sea Fabrics. So... Alright. And that brings me to yesterday. So I did some extra credit work. One of the tasks is to spell out Chernabog, or Chernabog, C-H-E-R-N-A-B-O-G, Chernabog. So, and you get an extra point if you do it all on the same project. So did Disneyland Math. I got about 618 stitches in, so I'm about 1,200 stitches total on it. I got the castle, and it's looking like a castle now, largely because I got the portcullis in. That's okay, because it's looking like a castle. That's awesome. C stood for castle. I did the first 5 letters. C. No, I did the first 6. So, C for castle. H for haunted mansion. That's in the pattern. E was for elephant in the Jungle Cruise ride, which is in here. And there is an elephant. You see its trunk. You see it. R was for riverboat. I could have also used railroad. N was for nose on Dumbo. And then A is for Ariel. Ariel's also on here. So, yeah. And I may actually change R to railroad because then I could use B for boat. But we'll see. We'll see what I come up with for B. So, there we go. Ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. So, I'm really, really enjoying this piece. Alright. Today, I don't know for sure what I'm going to work on. I haven't really kind of worked that out yet. I'll either work on Three Musketeers and finish that up, or I may work on Jack's Halloween Dream. Sundays are kind of my day to work on Sal's. So that was last week's homework. I did, like I said, I used the castle for a couple of prompts, and I used, when the page loads, I used it for stitch on a piece that's 200 stitches high, top to bottom. For task 5, which was visit Bright Angel Ranger Station and stitch on something cold, or Phantom Ranch and stitch on something hot. Bonus if you do both. So I used my Beauty and the Beast because there are candles that have flames, which are hot, but the castle itself is cold. I also used the Frog Princess for stitch on a piece with an animal. And then I used my work on with the needle for number 9, which was visit the Cave of Domes, stitch on a piece with a dome shape, because the silo, which I still haven't stitched yet, has a dome. So that was that. Alright, so this week's homework is going to be kind of interesting. 2 of them I don't have planned. One is going to have to be a penalty stitch, for sure. The other is going to sort of be guess as you can. So the first one is to stitch on a project that has something you could use to spy on someone with. So I'm going with Nevermore. So here's where I'm at with Nevermore. And I won't be stitching on them. The little pots with the vines, you could hide in a pot with vines while you're spying on someone. Sort of like on Laugh-In, Artie Johnson used to do with the very interesting but stupid. So that was kind of my thinking there. Alright, so there's that. The next one is to stitch on a project that has hair, feathers, or scales. So I'm going to work on quilts, because I haven't worked on that this month. And there are people who have hair. There's also a rooster down here. He's got feathers. I don't think there's any fish, so there's nothing that's got scales per se, but there's several things with feathers and hair. So, and here's where I am on it last I worked on it. So the next one is to stitch on something you'd find under the sea. I don't have any ocean ones currently in my active pile, so I will be penalty stitching that one, and I don't know what with yet. And then the last one is to stitch on something related to Fantasia or Fantasia 2000. So we're supposed to watch it, and whatever we're working on, when something related to that shows up in the film, we're supposed to pause, take a picture of the whip and the moment in the film. So, don't really quite know what I'm going to be doing. I think I'm probably going to be relating it to Beauty and the Beast through the Rhapsody in Blue segment of Fantasia 2000. Because that's the only one I really like. But we'll see. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Like I said, today I'm probably either going to work on Three Musketeers or Jack's Halloween Dream. Since those are Sal's, per se. Or I may work on Every Season by Tiny Modernist. So, because I gotta get the border in on that. So, anyhow, that's kind of it. I hope everyone has a great week. This is a little bit shorter video, but I'm sure I'll be making up for it next week. And I'll see you all next time.